Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Let's talk silver. Let's talk how silver's priced. It's priced on the COMEX using futures and options contracts. A handful of players decide what the price is going to be every day, and that's it. That's it. What I want to show you is something really cool that is happening right now as we speak on the delivery side of silver. This is the real part of silver, what's really going on in the silver market, which I think ultimately will lead to the final moonshot and the shutdown of the COMEX, the criminal exchange we know and love. First of all, as you can see, let's just talk about from when we had the silver squeeze, the Wall Street silver guys and all that, and I figured out who that investor was, which I'll show you in a second. But since that point, January, February of last year, silver has basically was about to hit $30, has gone down the whole time. Now, Rustin Benham, the head of the CFTC, said that they decided to tamp down the price of silver. The question is, how did he do it? What silver? What physical silver was used? What derivative products were used? And who was in charge of it? We all know that JPM had a hell of a lot of silver, probably over 1 billion ounces. Then we found out that well, here's the chart that a lot of people said, oh my God, look at that spike in silver derivatives. This is not a spike in silver derivatives. This is the way the OCC, the Office of Comptroller of Currencies, is hiding what's really going on. This is basically, the vast majority of this is gold. They move gold back into this graph. So that is not the silver derivative. As a matter of fact, I think the silver derivatives have gone down in this year, and that's why they had to hide it. They couldn't show that the Bank of America silver derivatives that were only 1 year long, and let me show you what they added. I can show you what happened throughout the year. Here's March of 2021, last year. This would be that first quarter. They had $8 billion in silver derivatives. That was huge. I mean, it also includes platinum and palladium, but not much. Truthfully, it's like maybe 85% silver. A big number, any way you slice this. And all of a sudden, something happened that Rustin Benham, the head of the watchdog, the CFTC, just completely closed his eyes to. Bank of America went absolutely bonkers diving into silver derivatives. So we see at 8.3 billion, and then the second quarter they went up 2 billion. That's a lot of silver. That's 74 million ounces that were added in the second quarter. But look at the third quarter. That's what we're in right now, and these are all 1 year maturity. So last year in the third quarter, Bank of America added another $8 billion worth of silver derivatives, which is 372 million ounces based off the $21.50 price at that time. That's when those derivatives are valued at the end of the third quarter. And these are, as you can see, the vast majority, 17 billion of those, 17.7 billion were actually only 1 year maturity. So these have been maturing all this entire quarter. And there's another quarter of these maturities happening for next quarter. So you're at 18.6.2 billion, and then they jumped to 27.3 billion. Massive jumps in those last two quarters. Total of 763 million ounces of silver derivatives added. These Ted Butler and a lot of people seem to think these were leased from JP Morgan. I believe it was a lease with a fix back in. And at the back of that trade, the question is who gets that physical silver? Now we have September is a silver delivery month, and there's literally only one deliverer out of the entire market. Rustin Benham, please explain that to everybody. But the one deliverer is none other than Bank of America. Bank of America, here's 25 million ounces delivered on the COMEX in physical silver. Who did it deliver to? We don't really know, truthfully. I mean, we know who took delivery, but we don't know who their customers are. Citigroup, right here, saying they're taking 2 points. That's like 13 million ounces. But what was going on with these silver derivatives with JP Morgan? JP Morgan and Bank of America. I think ultimately it's going to end up in Warren Buffett's hands, and I'll show you why in a second. But out of the entire month of deliveries, 6,156 contracts have been stood for delivery, and Bank of America has delivered 5,199. That is massive concentration. And the CFTC is closing their eye because they already know what's happening. They know the con. The absolute requirement of an unbacked fiat money system is you rig the price of gold and silver, especially silver, because there's so little of it. So thank you, U.S. regulators. Once again, you're destroying our country. You cannot have a free country without free markets. Really good follow of this stuff on Twitter is this guy, Mike Say 98. He has been tracking how much silver is really leaving the COMEX warehouses and the LBMA warehouses. So here he has, as of September 8th, that's when the silver squeeze began, back in January of 2001. But look how much silver has left the COMEX, from 100, a little over 140, down to just at 45 now, on the registered vault totals. So that's 100 million ounces. 100 million ounces have left the COMEX. A big chunk of it is coming right now. And leaving the COMEX, meaning the inventories are delivered. But they have more in the eligible. Eligible just means that somebody's storing it at a COMEX because it's cheaper. It doesn't mean they're going to sell it at all. It's just cheap storage. And he put together really interesting stuff because a lot of this COMEX deliveries will get sent over to the LBMA to kind of rinse and wash the deliveries so nobody sees them. But I added up all the deliveries right here, and that came out to about 290 million ounces have been delivered in the last about the last year. 290 million ounces delivered in the last year. Now, again, we go back to the OCC derivatives, and what was added, it went from $10 billion to $18 billion in the third quarter. I think those are all going through the delivery process right now. So we got the LBMA, let's just call it 300 million have been delivered from the LBMA and the COMEX. 300 million. So we need 72 million more. Where would we get it? The obvious place is SLV. SLVs is that criminal ETF, rigged, allowing shorts. I think there's 50 million shares short, which means 50 million ounces have not been deposited that shareholders bought, thinking that every share they buy of SLV gets 1 ounce put into the warehouse, which is not true. BlackRock and JP Morgan run that rigging job, along with Virtu Financial does the computer rigging. But if you look at SLV, institutional investors have really risen, even though the price has been falling down from $26, $27 down to like 14. Look at the institutional investors are climbing. Why is that? Because they can take delivery. Institutional investors with 50, if you have 50,000 shares of SLV, you can take delivery. But you need to know someone on the inside. It doesn't say that in prospectus. That's how it works, though. You can take delivery. So this is the way that these big institutional players are taking delivery. Let's take a look at who the players are. There is Bank of America, just added in June, 11 million ounces / shares. Not huge. The Private Advisor Group was the big one that I saw. Hang on a second. Private Advisor Group was the big one back in, here it is. This is when they bought 1/3 of SLV in the first quarter, back when, you really want to know who did the silver squeeze. It was Private Advisor Group. Who is it? Nobody really knows because they work for clients as private advisors. They don't have disclosures. Probably Buffett. And that's 200 million ounces back then. And then they ended up taking delivery over those next few months. How do we know? Because we go to the COMEX inventories. Here they are. Since the silver squeeze, since February 2nd, 2021, that's right at the heart of the squeeze, The amount of silver that has left SLV is 222 million ounces. 222 million ounces is gone from SLV, delivered to somebody. So on the COMEX and the LBMA, it dropped 272 million. This is over the last year and a half or so. And then that was the last year. And then we have these 222, which, I mean, if you add it all up, it comes somewhere around 500 million ounces. 500 million ounces. And remember, the derivatives put on by Bank of America in the third quarter with only 372 million ounces. So you didn't even have to add mysterious. I mean, every mint on the planet is kicking out coins like mad, except the U.S. Mint. They refuse to. They've illegally halted the production of silver eagles, as you can tell right here. The U.S. Mint has the capability of producing over 50 million silver eagles every single year. They had a couple years where one year they produced 47 million. That's almost full capacity. But now they're not making anything, and the premiums are off the charts. The reason the premiums are off the charts is because the prime dealers, I think there's 18 of them or whatever, 12 of them, that you need this gigantic bond to be one. The prime distributors aren't getting enough, so they have to charge these huge premiums because they got fixed costs as well. And they can, because the U.S. Mint's not giving them out, not producing them, even though Ventris Gibson, the current mint director, with no experience at all with any mints on the planet, but Biden put her as the director of the mint, says that they expanded the capacity to make American Eagles. I mean, where's the expanded capacity? They're at 12.8 million coins in 2022. We're almost 2/3 of the way done with the year, and their capacity is 50 million. They should be right now somewhere around 35 million coins if they were running at full capacity. And she claimed in a letter to me, I have it down here somewhere, all the customers who have bought from the U.S. Mint, they claim to have expanded the Silver Eagle program. That's a lie. It's a flat-out lie, or they are expanding it and making coins and not giving them out to the public, which is a possibility. All right. A lot of people say, well, how do you know? How do you know it's Buffett? How do you know it's Buffett taking it? I don't. I have my suspicions. I have some proof, not a lot. We do know that Warren Buffett sold almost all of its banking stocks back right when the silver squeeze hit, except for Bank of America, which he added to. He kept pumping money into Bank of America. Here's a letter here. Here's how Warren Buffett's explained Berkshire Hathaway bank sell-off. So he sold pretty much everything other than Bank of America. And there he is. And we know that Warren Buffett's father wanted to go back to a gold standard in the 40s. We know that Warren Buffett idolized his father more than anybody on the planet. And we know that Warren Buffett bought 130 million ounces of silver back in the late 90s. Back then, he said it was only 2% of Berkshire Hathaway. Well, Berkshire Hathaway has since grown 10%, 10 times what it was. So a 2% investment of Berkshire Hathaway right now comes to right around 1.2 billion ounces of physical silver. He could say the same thing. It's only 2%, not a big deal. Well, it is a big deal if there's no silver left in the world. Now, the question of what will he do with that silver, I think he's going to give it to the U.S. Treasury. And it's going to be part of our new money. As a matter of fact, a subscriber sent me, let me get this, a Silver Eagle. Right here, a Silver Eagle, and it's one of the new 2022 second half of the year Eagles, or 2021 second half of the year with the little slot in the bottom. And this Eagle may be one of the first with an identifier in the slot. And he sent me an article on this company that is making it's called Dust Identity. They grind up diamond dust, and you can put you can put numbers and letters in that little thing and just and it can read it, go through a reader. This clip had talked about something like this. It's something called Dust Identity is the company. And You could do it. You could put hashtag. You could put a crypto tag on there. You can put a lot of data in a tiny micro space, and with certain readers, you can read what it is. Maybe that's what they're going to do. I don't know. But clearly, Ventress Gibson is not the person to be running the mint when this transition happens. As a matter of fact, she's the head of HR. She's got an HR background for the last 40 years. She's been doing human resources. Why would you put her as in charge of the mint? They might shut the mint down. I don't know. But clearly, either the mint is completely and totally inept and corrupt, and I don't think they are, or they were told to stand down, which I know they were told to stand down. So that's what we got going on. I do think ultimately it will be Buffett, but I also think that Buffett is going to give that silver back to the United States of America, maybe even in the name of his father, which is something I think he would really love to say he had done in his lifetime. Clearly, there's a connection between silver, Bank of America, and Warren Buffett. And I do think Buffett is absolutely... Well, he hates bankers. We know that. I think he's a patriot. And I think he's helping the good guys take the criminals like JP Morgan, Citibank, Bank of America, all those, take those guys down, take them out. That's where we are. It's crazy time. Sunday is September 11th. Get your physical silver now. There is no more time to wait. There is no more time to wait. Get your physical silver. Get it in your own possession. Don't look at price. Price is the worst metric to look at silver. They could put it at minus $40 on the COMEX. Doesn't mean you're going to get it. They can do shit like this. It just doesn't matter. Oh, by the way, the guy who's in charge of the OCC data reporting that that they're hiding right now is this guy, Greg Coleman, Senior Deputy Comptroller of Large Bank Supervision. Greg Coleman is was and probably still is on the payroll of JP Morgan. It says it right here. He previously served as director within Credit and Market Risk Division in the Office of Chief National Bank Examiner as the lead for capital markets team at JP Morgan Chase. Now he is the guy that is obfuscating the data at the OCC so that JP Morgan and the criminals within that entity can hide all their machinations. Lots of big words. Anyway, you want more, go to roadtoroota.com, click on the search function, and you can search for anything you want in silver. You'll get thousands of articles, but Buffett would be a good one. And there's 58 articles on Warren Buffett and the history of Warren Buffett and what he's doing, how he's working behind the scenes to take out the banking cabal through the purchase of physical silver, I believe. And we will know soon enough. I think all the shit's coming down very fast. So hang on to your shorts. Saturday, full moon. Sunday, 9/11. Next week, craziness begins and runs until it's over. I don't think it'll take more than a month or so for the entire system to fall apart, but we'll see. This is Bix Weir. Follow me. Hey, like and subscribe, and go to roadtoroota.com. And you can, on the left side, you can sign up for free public road updates. You'll get emails from me when I post things and thoughts and crazy shit going on. This is Bix. I'll talk to you later.